All right. We don't offer opportunity. Okay. How did you get brought into this business?
It's demo cooking, uh, system, suite, system.
All right. So someone, if you're with the customer, if you're with a I hate customer. If you're with a prospect or you're with a family, right, and they say they can't afford it, and you can tell they're not in a good employed situation. There's nothing that says you can't offer them an opportunity. You guys all have the "We Need Your Help" magazine. All right, so that's what an opportunity card is. And we'll go over that more here in a second too. All right, but you never know what it could turn into. Okay. Um, Jake Maloney, who you guys will have an opportunity to meet. Scott did the demo for him, and Jake was getting ready to go work at TSA, and Scott was like, "Why don't you come work with us instead?" So he turned down his TSA job. He works for us, and now he's a dealer in Freeland, Michigan. Right. So offer the opportunity because you never know what could come from it. All right. Um.
Which one's the offer?
Yep. Yep. So we don't cut, and we're going to go over that more here in a second. We don't cover that a whole lot for you guys in initial training. We cover that more now so we can actually teach you guys how to do it. All right. Because to teach you guys to do that properly, it takes an extended period of time. All right. You're talking too much. Okay. Tell the family what they need to know. All right. Be interested, not interesting. I'm not sure if you guys have ever heard that saying. All right. Be interested in them. Okay. Don't be interesting. All right. People love to talk about themselves. Right. When you're in someone's home, everything's about them. Let them talk about themselves. The only time you should really talk to them about you is the initial when you're introducing who you are. And then if there's a story you have, right, that pertains to the demo. Right. Um, stick to the script. You're going to run into family and it's going to be the flow of the conversation. But in general, you need just to stick to the script. All right. Dino went on an appointment the other day with an Army Ranger from Vietnam. He was there for 4.5 hours. Right. So clearly that's a little bit different of a situation. Right. Prejudge. Okay. Never assume a family's not going to buy the network. If you walk into a home and the family and you're telling yourself the family's not going to buy it, guess what they're going to do? They're not going to buy it. Okay. Um, you have to go into every appointment with the mindset that you're going to protect this family. All right. Every family you see is counting on you and relying on you to educate them and make sure their family is prepared. Okay. So if you already go into an appointment with a negative mindset, how do you think the demo is going to go for you? Negative. Okay. And then you don't believe in our network. Okay. This typically isn't an issue for anyone who gets out of training. All right. But if you don't believe in what this network can do, you're not going to be successful in this business. Promise you. Right? If you don't believe in its capability and believe that it does what we say it's going to do, regardless of the success rates you've seen it or you've seen it do what it does, you're not going to be successful. Right? You wouldn't work for Ford and drive a Chevy. Right? You don't work for Apple and have Android products. Right? Same. Right? So it's the same thing. Okay. Right. Any questions on the mistakes? All right. So the warm up. Why is the warm up so critical? All right. So this is where you're building a relationship with the family you're with. All right. You're setting the state and you're also setting the stage for prospecting and recruiting. All right. If a family likes you, you're going to have no problem prospecting. If a family doesn't like you, you're not going to be able to prospect them. I promise you. All right. And then if you're enthusiastic what you do and you show that you love what you do, why wouldn't people want to join you part time? All right. That's how I got Corey. That's how Dino got Mike. All right. It's probably how Dino also got David. Okay. Um, all right. So enthusiasm, you're setting the stage, right? Your warm up is going to dictate the rest of the way your demo is going to go. Okay. If you have a bad warm up and your warm up struggles, you are going to struggle through the rest of your presentation. All right. And warm up starts with the door approach. It starts about how you get out of your vehicle. If you get out of your vehicle and you're stumbling, you're fumbling around with your bags and your equipment, what's that going to show that customer? You're not prepared, right? They're going to see you, right? If you're expecting someone to show up to your door, do you just sit on the couch and wait for them to knock on your door? No, you're probably sitting up, looking out the window, seeing, you're getting a general impression of them. right? So if someone shows up and they're stumbling around with their stuff or they're just getting dressed, right, what does that say? What is that first impression of you already? You're unprepared, okay? Right? When you get out of your vehicle, right? I like to get out of my vehicle and I like to try and look to see the window, see if I can see him, right? And if I see him, I'll start waving and I'll smile, right? Super goofy, right? But then it just sets the stage, right? And then when I walk to the door, I knock and I take a step back, right? And then when they open the door, you're smiling. It's right. Hey Terry, how you doing today? I'm Brandon with Echelon Fire Safety. And he's like, oh, good man. Da, 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 da. Like, hey, I'm here for that fire safety meeting. You guys ready? Good, let's go. Right? And you just walk in. Okay. Take your shoes off. Right? You always take your shoes off. And the family will tell you if you can leave your shoes on, but take your shoes off. You come to my house and you walk in my house with your shoes on, I'm going to tell you to get out of my house. Right? Because I'm a very neat, clean, freaky person like that, and I don't like shoes on my carpet. Right? So take your shoes off. It's a sign of respect. If a customer offers you water, always take it. All right? Whatever they offer you, take it. That's their way of offering you hospitality. Okay? And if you refuse hospitality, some people can take that as disrespectful because it's showing that you don't trust them. So if someone offers you water, they offer you food, they offer you whatever, yes, please. Okay? Now, if it's food and water and you're not hungry, well, you can take the water, but take something. Okay? And then, or just nibble on the food. Yep. Right. Don't refuse. Do not refuse someone's hospitality. Okay. Okay. So door approach, getting in there, just chatting with them. This is when you're just making general conversation. Compliment their home. Everyone loves to hear that they live in a beautiful home because that's what it's their home. Okay.
I had basically like I was walking. Maybe like dinner tray was set up.
They talk about it? Do they talk about it at all? Or usually, that's one of the first. It's hard to tell whatever. In your head, you can think it whatever you want, cause it. Hey, it's no problem, we always gotta go to places.
Yeah, no, I didn't
Just keep going.
Yep.
No, I didn't push. Whoever's good. Put that tray.
And when you're sitting down, make sure
Yes.
you don't wanna sit down. So,
That fits.
or just relax. Come on.
All right.
Well, I'm just like, I was just kind of.
We'll cover it.
Just kind of incorporate on that.
I watched someone do a demo on top of a beer can or a beer box and it's sitting on the floor and they put their stuff on a beer box. The family didn't have a table and they protected that family. All right. So yeah, you're gonna walk into people hoarder. There's people that are hoarders, right? So you just walk on by and you just ignore it, right? You just, hey, that's their home, right? If they want to live like that, they live like that, right? You just make the best of it.
I wasn't like.
No, no.
thinking, it is part of the warm up, you find something to talk about. But not like, talk about.
Then you ask them what their hobbies are. That's when you start asking them questions. Yep. Nobody cares about how much you know until they know how much you care. Okay. You could be the smartest person in the world and nobody gives a shit what you have to say if they know that you don't care about it. Right. So if a family doesn't trust you, they're not going to buy from you. Regardless of how much they like the network, they won't buy from you. All right. How many times have you guys gone somewhere to buy something and the person shows that they don't care about anything you have to say and they're just trying to sell you something? Would you want to buy from that person? Nope. Okay. You're there for two reasons, right? You're there to educate the family and offer them an opportunity to protect their home the way they deserve to be protected. Okay. All right. So if you have an issue with your closing and your prospecting, your warm-up's where it's going to start. Okay. You might be thinking that you're talking, okay, and having conversation, but are you talking to them? Or are you talking with them? When they talk back, are you listening? Right? Are you actually listening to what they have to say? Or are you just hearing?
So, I mean, there's parts of the demo where it invites them back to get the coffee interacting. What happens? if they don't?
They don't like you.
I really want to talk.
If,
And I try to get a
I don't want that. There were moments where I'm like, I want to speak English or should I look at translator? Like it really felt like they didn't understand anything I was saying. There was a lot of blank looks. Like even when I would ask questions,
so this is where you have to understand the person that you're with. Okay. If they're not responding to you, now is it one of those things where they did like you and they're just a super quiet individual? Or is this one of those things where you couldn't tell how they were feeling? If you couldn't tell how they were feeling,
So like the one that sticking out is they appeared interested, paying attention. But whenever I would invite them to try and answer a question, sit there silent.
so it could be the way you're asking. It could be where you're using the family's names. It could be a whole host of things, right?
So ask the specific.
Yes. Yes, and that's something that we're going to talk about here in a second as well. But yes, if you want someone, so how many of you guys remember sitting in class, listening to your teachers in high school, and they would ask a question? Nobody raised their hand. Or how many times are you not paying any attention? You're sitting there playing on your phone, writing your girlfriend a love note or whatever. All right. And your teacher calls on you and asks you to answer the question, and you go, oh, right, what were they just saying?
Gotta call somebody else.
The moment that you heard their name, right? The moment you heard that teacher say your name, what'd you do? You popped right up. Right? It's the same thing. You got to use people's names. People love the sound of their own name. Okay. Every time there's a question in that book, you need to use someone's name. And then you need to ask the other person utilizing their name. Okay. Every time you refer to someone's kids or their pets, you need to use their kids and pets' name. If you're not good at remembering names, you need to write them down on your walkthrough sheet. Right? You absolutely have to. I cannot tell you, I've seen a safety advisor literally lose a sale because he didn't remember the wife's name. All right. This was about a year ago. Okay. The guy filled out the credit application. We got him approved, called him to set up to get over there to do the install. And he said, you know what? I'm not really comfortable with this. We asked him why. We asked him if there's anything we do. And he literally said, the guy that spent an hour and a half in my home did not remember my wife's name. He had to ask the wife what her name was. Right? You don't ever want to be put in that position. Okay. And from that moment, there was nothing I could do. This was a guy who literally filled out his credit app, let us run his credit, and then canceled it because the safety advisor didn't remember wife's name. So if you're not good with names, you need to write them down and you need to use those names as much as you can. Okay, as much as you can. All right. All right. So general questions that you can ask at the beginning of the demo. Okay. Your warm-up should be the longest part of your appointment. All right. There's been times where I've warmed up with the family for 45 minutes. So now another perspective, right? If your goal is 2 or 3 appointments a day, let's say 2 a day, all right? Why try and rush and do an hour-long demo? What else do you have to do the rest of the day? So take the time, get to know the family, build that rapport. If you could work for 6 hours, let's say you did 2 3-hour demos, you worked 6 hours that day. If you're there for 3 hours each, what do you think the likelihood is of you closing that appointment? Super high. Dino knows. It's super high. All right. There's a guy in Canada out of Corey Stewart's office, Micah. Micah spends 4 hours in a family's home and he protects most of the families he sees. Okay. So get out of the mindset of thinking that you need to rush through your stuff and get out of there as soon as you can. That's not the goal. Right.
So decide on right. As about that.
So they're
side.
It was a side issue, all right, but not only that, okay. How do you know,
I
right?
know,
So
I know,
there's,
like,
right, so there's,
I let one or two slide, but there's four in a row. I
Yep.
thought,
and we fixed it, okay? But here you go too, okay? So that was something that was fixed because transparency, right? There's an office in Michigan where they teach their marketers to say 15 minutes. Because their belief is that their marketer's job is to get you to the door. It's your job to get that family to like you. Okay. So where there was a mix-up was that a marketer who was trained that way thought you could do that here in Oakland County. Can't do that in Oakland County. You can't do that in Macomb County. You can't do that in Washtenaw County. So that's where the mix-up was. Okay. Now we tell people at a minimum 60 minutes. Okay. If someone's kicking you out of their house after 60 minutes, that's on you.
No,
Right.
so the ones that actually do, they're at least
Yep.
half hour and a half.
So that's where that mix-up came and it got corrected. Okay. But so
Also, I mean, I've got that. A lot of times, I've been told, hey, I only have like 45 minutes, I have like an hour, and then I'll warm up with that. And then next thing you know, 3 hours later, calling Brandon. And that thing that they had to do was just some way, their way of trying to. Fine. But I get what you're saying, too.
Basic. Time sheets there.
all right, so that's one. All right, so we're not for this. All right, we're trying. Hey. Yep. Guess what? Okay. Do you want tough love right now? I've sat through appointments where they were cooking dinner. Okay. And they just kept cooking dinner while I was talking. I've walked into appointments where the family was in the middle of eating dinner. And they had me just take a seat and enjoy them while they were eating.
Yeah,
Okay.
I have.
Right. So quit looking for problems. All right. You have to learn how to handle those. Okay. And that's where we're teaching you right now. Right. We're teaching you this. There's going to be people where they tell you they only have 15 minutes. And like Dino said, the moment you start talking, but if you get flustered because someone tells you 15 minutes and you just freak out and you leave and you fumble, what does that show? So now let's say that happens and you spend 15 minutes with them and they love you. What are they going to do? They're either going to say, hey, can you come? I have these quick errands. Can you come back after? Or they're going to say, hey, can we do this tomorrow? Right. So if you're already there and you run into something where they give you 20 minutes, you now have 20 minutes to make an impression and give them your best audition. That's what that is. It's not a sign of freaking out and getting mad because I know, I'm aware. Okay. Right. So someone gives you 20 minutes. What can you do with a 20-minute, Mike, what could you do with a 20-minute warm up?
20-minute warm up. I can at least sell them that I'm offering something good. That's
Right.
me. I can create the sense of urgency to want to create more time.
Right. Dino, what could you do with a 20-minute warm up?
Yeah, but
Right. And he does. He's the only safety advisor I've ever seen where a customer actually took him and his fiance out to dinner. Like they literally took them out to dinner. Right. So there's going to be times, yes, right. There's going to be tough times. There's going to be times where you walk into someone's home and they're super grumpy. I love grumpy people because now the challenge is how can I get to turn their mood around? Right. I love when someone's grumpy. I love when I walk into a home and someone's telling me they're not going to buy anything because what are they already thinking about? Buying something. I love when I get to a customer's home and they tell me to leave my stuff in the car. Yeah, guess what? All right, hey, no problem. I'm walking in with my clipboard and that's it. My clipboard and my demo book. Right? I don't need to bring anything else in because I know that I have 45 minutes of getting to where the network's at, or an hour of getting to where the network's at. And when after the alarm kill, right? Because you don't need the actual alarm, you just have them take their alarm down because the alarm kill cheat sheet's on your paper. Okay, you have them take their alarm down, right? You get all the way through the alarm kill and you ask them the question, now do you guys want to see something that might work or that will work? Right, and that's something that will work. Well, if you guys do, give me a call because you guys told me to leave my stuff in the car. Right, and then, or you get to that point, okay, and you do the alarm kill and you say, all right, that's all I've got for you. And they're like, well, what works? Right, right.
Yeah,
What works? Now, Charles, I was going to show you guys, but you told me to leave my stuff in the car. Do you guys want me to go get it? Well, yeah, duh. And that's the reaction, right? But this is stuff that you learn, but you got to ask these questions and you got to be open-minded and willing to receive this information. Okay. If someone tells you they have 15 minutes, they have a half hour, they have 20 minutes. We know it's going to take 2 hours. Your demo should take an hour and a half to 2 hours. Okay. You have that gives you, if someone says they have 60 minutes, they're not rushing you. Right? That means they're giving you 60 minutes to make an impression. If someone tells you you have 15 minutes, 20 minutes, they're not rushing you. Someone might have an appointment they have to get to. They're giving you a 15 or a 20-minute audition to impress them. Why should we listen to you?
the way I look at it is, I can't count how many times I've gone out to bar with my friends and said, look, we got early morning. With you guys till 9, and I gotta go home. And at 1 AM, come stumbling door with my girlfriend going, I don't know what happened. I was having a good time with what happened. I was enjoying the conversation. Something sucked me in. Something I didn't want to leave. I want to be more interested in whatever appointment they were going to, whatever they wanted to do. Let's make this more fun, more interesting, and more important.
And you control your schedule too, right? So let's say, Dave, let's say you went to an 11:30 and they say, well, I got a half hour because I got this appointment. Hey, that's great. Build that relationship, build that rapport, and make them like you, right? Build that relationship with them, and they say, well, my appointment's done at 1. Can you come back at 1:30? Hey, absolutely. I'll be right back here at 1:30. You can absolutely do that. There's nothing that says when you get to the home, if they tell you 20 minutes, that you just take your stuff and go back to the car and apologize for it, right?
No, I always try. In case you say, if they try to. Yes.
Exactly. It's them giving you an audition, right? You're auditioning why they should give you their time, because time is precious. Why someone should be giving you their time for you to talk to them. That's the way you got to approach it. Okay. If you approach it in a manner, if someone tells you 20 minutes and it's like, oh my God, well, let me reschedule because it's going to take way longer than 20 minutes, they're not going to reschedule with you. Right. You got to take it with a confidence and do what you can to make sure that that 20 minutes is the best 20 minutes that they've seen all day or that they've seen all week. Right. So that's what that means, right? So any questions on that? Okay. So questions that you can ask to build rapport. Okay. So you went into someone's home and it was a hoarder house and it wasn't a beautiful home, right? So you can still tell them it's a beautiful home. You don't have to say the inside's beautiful, right? But then ask them where they work, what they like to do for fun, how long they've been doing it. Try to find a way that connects to them, right? How long they've been living in this area, right? If they're married or if they're dating someone, how long they've been together, how they meet, right? Ask those questions. If you see something hanging up or if you see a collection of stuff, ask them about it, right? And then you need to introduce yourself, tell them who you are and why you do what you do. Okay. They need to know your why and tell them your why, right? If you're in the military, tell them you were in the military, right? But now you also need to rehearse your warm up and rehearse your pitch on who you are and why you do it. Right. And then you can talk about the fire safety questions, right? Just get the fire safety ball rolling. All right. So you ask them how many smoke alarms they currently have, CO, if they know anyone that's been affected. Why do we ask them if they know anyone who's been affected by a home fire? There's a reason why we ask them.
Because at that point, they can actually have that personal knowledge of how devastating it was to try to.
Yep.
They're already aware of the situation besides being told this could start.
Very good. The awareness. One other reason.
Prospecting.
Prospecting. If someone tells you that they know people who have been affected by a home fire, you better be getting that referral. Right? Right? Prospecting, right? So it's going to make it more relatable and prospecting. Okay, those are the two biggest things. Right? So after you've done all these questions, that's when you engage in the fire blanket. Okay. All right. So after you've been chatting for a while, 15, 20, 30, 45 minutes, and it's a feel or take, right? Sometimes you might talk to someone for 10 minutes of warm up. Sometimes you're gonna spend a half hour, right? Me personally, I try to push the warm up as long as I can, especially if it's my last point in the evening. Okay. Typically, if it's in the evening and people are home from work, they might have shit to do, but if they like you and they're interested in what you have to say, they're gonna push their shit off. Right? We've all done it. We've all gotten caught up in conversations in the evening or during the day when we knew we had stuff going on and we pushed it off anyways. Right? So the fire blanket, okay? You then jump into, you know, Terry, if you were at a fire right now, how would you, in your kitchen, how would you put it out? Right.
Probably some flour or.
Right. Hey,
Baking soda.
flour, baking soda, great answer, Terry. Right? Repeat what they say, tell them it's a great answer, even if it's not a great answer. Right? They're still taking the effort and trying to think of something to say. Right? You need to respect that. Right? Right? So, Terry, those are great answers. Hey, I'll show you a quick and easy way of doing it. All right, so let's go over to your stove and show you this fire blanket. Have you ever heard of the fire blanket? And then you talk about the fire blanket. Okay. I'm not going to go into doing a full demo right now, right? But then you do the fire blanket, okay? And then you ask them the tie down, okay? Your goal for while you're there is you want to, whole goal of your appointment is also to prospect too, right? So after you show Terry the fire blanket and Terry thinks it's really awesome, maybe Terry, now how cool would it be if you had something like this to put out your kitchen fire if you ever had a kitchen fire? Wonderful. Well, we got an awesome, very effective, right? We got an awesome rewards program. I can show you how we can get you one of these later. All right. Right. And that's what they usually say. They'll say, okay. And they'll say, all right. Okay. We have an awesome rewards program. We'll show you how you can get one of these later. Okay.
So that's when we do, what about the initial one, the huge packet, picture them?
Yep.
Do we take that during that section?
Right after this. All right. So then we do the burn kit. Same thing with the burn kit, because someone might not like a fire blanket. They might not. I don't know why, but they just might not. All right. So then you do the burn kit and you ask them the same question. All right. Now, Charles, how awesome would it be if you had something like this if you're ever to get a burn? Pretty awesome. Hey, well, we have a great rewards program. I can show you how you can get one of these later. All right. Cool. Okay. All right. And then you talk about fire extinguishers with the family. Okay. Ask them to go get you one of their fire extinguishers and then talk to them about the fire extinguisher. All right. All right. I'm not gonna, yeah, some have an extinguisher. I don't typically give everyone an extinguisher to carry around because it's a 2.5 pound thing that you have to carry. Right. But if you want to carry one around and show people, let me know and we'll get you one. All right. So then after your fire blanket, your burn kit, all right, let's get over to the kitchen table. The quicker we go through this information, the quicker I'll be out of here. Right. Now that doesn't mean you have to hurry up and speed through the information. That just shows them you're taking the initiative, right, to get going. Right. So then you start going, you introduce the company. Okay. Introducing the company is also a big part of it. Right. We're Echelon Fire Safety. We're located in Lake Orion. We've been open since 2019. We're authorized dealers. Okay. You don't need to tell them about global health and safety. You don't need to tell them about all this other stuff because what happens when you start giving people more information than what they need? They want to research. They want to look up stuff for themselves. Okay. And then we get to the Survey Monkey, EPK. Okay. So now, Evan, just as a thank you for allowing us to come out here and take some of your time to go over this information with you, we're going to go ahead and give you some emergency kit. Now, real quick, Evan, before I give you some emergency kit, I got a question for you. If I gave you a truck full of these emergency kits, how quickly could you give them out to your friends and family?
Slowly.
Very slowly, but everyone would probably want one of these, right? Now, Evan, how about I show you an easier way of doing that?
Okay.
Perfect. All right, Evan, you got social media, right?
Oh.
Nope. Got social media?
Not for me, my wife.
All right. Hey, there you go. Fantastic. See, did you guys see me panic or freak out? I just stared at him and I waited for him to give me something. Right? Didn't need to say anything. Okay. Great. So your wife, what's your wife's name?
Carrie?
Carrie. All right. And Carrie's obviously gonna be with them, right? All right. So Evan, Carrie, what we're gonna do is we're gonna take a picture of you holding this emergency kit. We're gonna post it on your social media with a quick little blurb. Now that's just gonna allow your friends and family to go and take a quick fire safety survey. And then we'll give them a call. If they want us to come out, we're gonna make sure they get one of these emergency kits, all right? Fantastic. And then you just take initiative and go. Okay. You ask them, okay, so where do you guys want to do your picture? typically Carrie, the wife, is gonna tell you where they wanna do it. You need to get them in it, okay? How many of you guys have scrolled past an ad on Facebook and it looks something like this and you just kept going? Now, what happens when you see your best friend, your brother, sister, and they're in the picture with it? You're gonna read it. You're gonna see what the heck is that? Okay, they need to be in it. All right, they're always, or the pets. Okay, I know someone, you posted one with the fish tank the other day. Okay, something with pets, their kids. There needs to be something other than just a picture of the emergency kit. All right. So you post it and you do it for them. Okay, and you need to do this in the beginning.
So I can take the picture, I post it, tag it, so, right?
Nope, they do it. So you say, all right, Carrie, I'm just gonna text you this quick little blurb, what's your phone number? And then you text it to her, you take the picture, send it to her, from your phone. Or if they want to take it from their phone, now Carrie, do you want me to take it from your phone or my phone? She'll go, you can just use mine. So you'll take a picture of her, okay, of her and Evan holding the emergency kit. All right. And then after they're done, like, Carrie, can you go ahead and pull up your Facebook, please, and go to the post a photo. Go ahead and click on that photo, and then go ahead and copy and paste that verbiage that I sent you. She'll copy and paste it, and now you need to look at it, okay? Because you take a screenshot of it, right? So when you see it on Facebook, and the burn gels, so we gotta make sure if you guys don't have burn gels, we get you some. All right, now Evan, you remember that burn kit I showed you? Those little bottles of burn gel. If you guys tag 100 people for us, the company allows me to give you one of these. Right? And then you just say, okay, right? Or you can say that you're in a contest. If people like you, they're going to be willing to help you. Right? They're going to help you. People in general have a caring nature. Okay? So if you tell them that you're in a contest or whatever, I always say, now, if you tag 100 people for us, the company allows me to give you one of these. That's how I've always said it. And then they just start tagging. It might take them 5 minutes. Who cares? Right? It might take them 10 minutes. What else you got better to do during the time? Huh?
That's why, like, sometimes I got like 68. I thought it-
So if they tag 200 to 300 people, they get two burn kits?
One bottle. One small bottle. It's not the burn kit. All right.
I mean,
The burn gel, yeah. So after they do that and they hit post, and hey, thank you, Evan. Thank you, Carrie, so much for doing that for us. It really helps me out. I do just need to take a quick screenshot or a quick picture of that, just so I get proof that I'm actually here. All right. And nobody cares. Right. So she just holds up. She'll just hold up her Facebook. Okay. You just take a picture with your phone and then you post it in the chat. Okay. It will literally take you 10 minutes to do that, if that. All right. And now let's say worst case scenario, let's say they kick you out right after you did that. What'd you just get? You just got a bunch of prospects in the Survey Monkey. So it wasn't a waste of time.
So that helps the marketing help in case you run out of.
Correct. Those Survey Monkeys then become your leads. Okay. And the marketing team calls them. Correct. Now, that's a good question. We're going to get a little off track here, but that's all right because it's a good question. Let's say there's someone that Carrie tags on social media and it's someone that you know personally. Why don't you reach out to them and set the appointment instead of waiting for the marketing team to do it? Like we talked about during your guys' training class, who's more inclined to answer your phone? Your phone number, your best friend, or is your best friend more inclined to answer your phone number or a phone number from a random office? More likely going to answer your phone. Okay, so that's what we talk about. And you've done a great job, reaching out to people. You've been busting your ass with it. So, good stuff with that. Right? But yeah. So the Survey Monkey will then go to a survey, and then we'll get it. All right, and then we print them off, and the market team calls them. But now that's the thing you understand. Just because someone takes a survey doesn't mean they're going to answer their phone. Okay. So if you see someone go in there and say, hey, I just took it, that's awesome. Just privately message them and say, hey, thank you so much for taking that. I can actually bring you out one of these myself. When's a good time for me to come over? Right. I've seen some of the surveys where you guys post and I go look at them and people are commenting on there. Oh, I just took it. Looking forward to seeing you. All right. Or I just took it. How can I get one of these? Why haven't you guys reached out to those people? All right. And this isn't so much for you new people because you just started, right? But that's just the mindset, right? If you see someone sitting there saying, hey, I just took it, you should be a shark, right? Reach out to them yourselves and say, hey, I can actually get you one myself. When's a good time for me to come over and bring you that emergency kit? And they're gonna tell you, they might ask you what it's about. Just tell them, we're a fire prevention company, I work for a fire prevention company, and we're gonna go over fire safety information with you guys. And just for doing that, just for you guys giving me a little bit of your time, I'm gonna give you this emergency kit. Okay, cool. Right, and then when's a good time for me to come over? Okay, so that is the Survey Monkey. Okay, that's what needs to go on, right? Now remember, right, your demo is not a qualified demo if you don't do this. Okay, we don't have any issues with people not doing it, but just remember, for you to have a qualified demo, call in to start, post your Survey Monkey, and you call to close. Okay, and then when do we do this? Do we do this at the beginning or the end? Beginning, right? Take the time in the beginning to do it. All right. Because here we go too. Let's say you spend the next hour with the family. Well, this was just up on their social media for an hour, right? Now what happens if they don't like you? What do you think they're gonna do? They're probably gonna take it down. But it was just up for an hour. So the odds are you probably at least got close to a handful of people who took that survey. Right? So that's why we posted in the beginning. Because if you ask somebody to post it at the end or post it after you left, you gotta hound them. And you gotta stay on them. And then it's just more annoying for you, right? Because you feel like you're bugging the family and you don't want to be bugging, right? Good, if I get a question.
It's just part of it, so just get the uncomfortableness out of the way, the
Just-
awkward.
Just get the uncomfortable and awkwardness away. And hey, like this is why we're doing this training, right? So I was the worst person at getting Survey Monkeys when I first started. I know Mike's the same way. I hated asking people about their social media because I don't use social media. Right? I've got it on there for this